The tension in your chest isn't imaginary. It's a silent battle waged every day, pulsing against your ribs, telling you that something is wrong. This is the grip of stress tightening around your mind and body. I've watched people surrender to this feeling, watched them crumble when life pressed its weight on their shoulders. But you're not like them. Not anymore. You're here because something inside you refuses to settle. And here's the promise. In the next 30 days, you will dismantle that stranglehold, and you will not be the same person by the end. Stress doesn't knock politely. It blasts through the door at all hours, unannounced, uninvited, and it leaves you breathless. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That unsettled feeling in the pit of your stomach, the restless nights, the perpetual tension in your jaw. It tries to infiltrate every inch of your life, yet here you stand, ready to turn that force into fuel instead of letting it become your prison. For 30 days, you won't just manage stress. You will declare war on it, but not in the usual sense of fighting an external enemy. No, the battlefield is within you. The weapon is your unwavering decision. And your victory? It's in your consistent willingness to show up daily, to train yourself in a discipline that most people ignore, a discipline that makes stress melt into insignificance. You've been led to believe that stress is just part of life, that you must carry it like a burden, that it will never fully disappear. That's a lie. Stress is not your companion. It's your reflection. It mirrors your current capacity. When your capacity expands, stress dissolves like a weak illusion exposed to the harsh light of truth. For the next 30 days, you will enlarge your capacity until stress has nowhere left to hide. Don't confuse this for an intellectual exercise. Don't sit there waiting for some magical insight. This is a visceral transformation, one that begins with how you wake up, how you inhale your first breath of the day, and how you command your mind when the world begins its relentless push. If you're listening to me right now, I need you to lock onto this idea. There is no time to stall. Stress doesn't wait, neither should you. You've seen it happen 1,000 times. People sign up for a new routine, a new morning ritual, a new technique to manage their stress. They try it for a day, maybe a week, then they slip back into their old patterns, complaining that life is too chaotic to follow through. They break promises to themselves and wonder why life seems so heavy. That ends here. You are not them. You are the kind of person who follows through, no matter what. The power of these next 30 days doesn't come from a single grand gesture. It comes from layering small, non-negotiable acts. Acts that tell your brain, I am in control. Stress does not dictate who I am. And when I say non-negotiable, I mean exactly that. You don't skip, you don't bargain, you don't wake up on day 10 and say, I'm too tired, because stress thrives on your excuses. It feeds on your moments of weakness. So let's be clear. Stress is a byproduct of how you perceive and respond to your environment. Most people react with panic or escape. You, on the other hand, will respond with unwavering calm. That calm is not passivity. It's the quiet force of a deep-rooted tree standing firm in a hurricane. You will stand like that for 30 days, deeply rooted, unshakable, unwavering. Let me challenge you right now. Close your eyes and remember the last time you felt completely overwhelmed. Maybe it was an argument, a deadline, or just the creeping doom of too many responsibilities. Now picture the next 30 days not as an avoidance of stress, but as a training camp. Every time stress rises, you will treat it as an invitation to strengthen the muscle of resilience. That is how you win, by seeing the obstacle as your training ground. Most people think of stress as an enemy to run from, but you will harness it. You will grab that pressure, turn it over in your hands, and shape it into fuel. Because the deeper secret is this: stress can become a catalyst for growth if you stop letting it dominate you. If you transform it from a shadow that looms over your day into a stepping stone you stand on with confidence. Don't wait for perfect circumstances. Stress doesn't wait. It shows up at rush hour. It sneaks into your inbox on a Monday morning. It creeps into your mind when your bank balance runs low or when the noise in the room is just too loud. You either stand firm in who you are or you get flattened by that wave. Over the next 30 days, you will learn to surf that wave. You will master its energy and ride it, not drown under it. I've watched individuals sabotage themselves because they refuse to adopt new mental patterns. They cling to old beliefs, telling themselves they're just wired to be anxious. But that's a cop-out. You're not wired to be anything. You're a living being who adapts, evolves, changes. This is your moment to prove that to yourself. Over these next 30 days, you rewrite your internal script. You decide that stress is not your master. Yes, there will be days when you slip, days when you feel the tension inching its way back. Those days aren't defeats, they're reminders. They remind you to stand up again, to keep going, to reaffirm your commitment. Sometimes stress will test you, whispering that you don't have what it takes. You will answer that whisper with action so consistent, so resolute, it will never dare to question you again. Let's set the tone right now. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the cause, not the effect. When stress invades, it's giving you a choice. Either succumb to it or expand your capacity to handle it. Over these 30 days, I want you to visualize your capacity as a vast container, growing each time stress tries to overflow. Eventually, stress will pour in, and you will remain calm, centered, unwavering. This might sound impossible if you've been battling stress for years, but consider this. Everything you've ever mastered was once impossible until you decided otherwise. You once didn't know how to walk, talk, or even read. With enough determination, repeated exposure, and relentless practice, those became second nature. Destroying stress is no different. It requires the same formula: repetition, determination, and the burning desire to be free of the chains that hold most people back. Each morning is a chance to anchor yourself before life's waves hit. Whether you ground yourself through quiet reflection, intention setting, or a moment of self-dialogue, it must happen daily. This practice is non-negotiable. Because the day will test you, phones will ring, obligations will mount, unexpected problems will arise. If you are not anchored, those waves will toss you around like a leaf in the wind. Some people think they can defeat stress by ignoring it. They scroll on their phones, overeat, or distract themselves with endless entertainment. That's not victory. That's temporary numbness. True victory over stress is standing face to face with it, unflinching, unafraid. Knowing that the discomfort you feel is only temporary, a spark waiting to be extinguished by your disciplined mindset. Are you beginning to see the pattern? Everything comes back to discipline. Discipline is the shield that deflects stress. When you instill discipline in your thoughts, your actions, and your responses, stress loses its power. Without discipline, your mind is a door left wide open to every anxious thought. With discipline, you lock that door and allow only what serves your purpose to enter. The average person waits for stress to disappear on its own. They wait for circumstances to change, for the workload to lighten, for that elusive moment of peace. But you aren't average. You create peace by forging the conditions inside yourself. You handle what must be handled. You confront that backlog of tasks, that looming conversation, that anxious uncertainty, all without letting it choke the breath from your lungs. Think about the identity you carry into each day. Are you someone who buckles under pressure, or do you thrive in it? Over the next 30 days, you rewrite that identity. You become the kind of person who sees stress as a challenge to your willpower, a challenge that you relish. When you walk into a demanding environment, you don't shrink, you expand. You become bigger than the stress itself. Some might call this approach extreme, but the reality is most people underestimate what they can do. They settle for subpar coping mechanisms, then wonder why stress keeps winning. Not you. You're going to adopt a mindset so firm, so deeply etched, that stress will have no choice but to retreat, because that's the nature of power. It fills the space. Wherever you plant yourself with conviction, stress must vacate. This isn't just about the mind. Your physicality matters too. Stress is stored in your body as tension. If you don't release it, it festers like trapped energy. Over the next 30 days, prioritize movement. Even if it's brief and intense, channel that pent-up frustration through exercise, through any physical action that demands your presence. You'll feel the difference almost instantly, a lightness, a liberation from the heaviness that once chained you. But let me warn you, your greatest battle will be with your own excuses. You will be tempted to say you're too tired, too busy, too overwhelmed. Stress will disguise itself as logic, telling you that you just can't fit this in right now. That is the critical juncture where you must stand firm. You will do it anyway, precisely because your excuses are the gateway to more stress, not less. Each paragraph you've heard so far has been building this momentum for you to make a decision. The decision to hold yourself to a standard that only a fraction of people ever reach. Most people let stress rule them. They pacify it, try to negotiate with it. You will do neither. You will face it and let your unwavering discipline crush it. That's what these 30 days are about, forging your mind into an instrument of calm power. The principle is simple. Stress thrives on reaction. Stress wants you to panic, to flinch, to lash out. So you train yourself to respond instead of react. Respond with calculated calm. Respond with purpose. Picture your mind as a fortress. Stress approaches with its chaos, but it cannot breach your walls because you respond with clarity, not frenzy. Let this image guide you whenever the chaos tries to slip in. Have you noticed how stress is contagious? Step into a room filled with anxious energy, and it's like walking into a dense fog. People's nerves rub off on you. Their fear becomes your fear. But that's exactly why you must radiate calm. Over these 30 days, you become the one who changes the temperature of the room. You breathe calm into tense environments. You anchor others just by your presence. Stress doesn't stand a chance against that kind of power. You might be thinking, this sounds good, but is it truly possible? I've seen it happen. I've watched ordinary people become unshakable forces. They didn't have special gifts. They had resolve. They decided that stress was not going to be their master, and they proved it by showing up every single day, doing the mental and physical work that others avoided. That could be you. Let's talk about the stories you tell yourself. I always get stressed in traffic. I can't handle confrontation. I'm just a naturally anxious person. These stories are your prison bars. Each time you repeat them, you strengthen the prison walls. But here's the key. You built that prison, which means you have the power to tear it down. Over the next 30 days, reframe every stressful story into a story of your resilience. You may ask, how do I reframe it? By noticing your immediate reaction and choosing a different interpretation. Traffic is no longer a personal assault, but a practice in patience. Confrontation becomes an opportunity to stand in your truth. Anxiety is not your default. It's a signal that you need to center yourself. Whenever stress tries to hijack your mind, you will calmly turn the wheel and steer it toward growth. Understand this. Each day is a microcosm of your entire life. If you practice stress mastery in the morning, you carry that into the afternoon. If you let stress defeat you once, it's easier for it to defeat you again. That's why consistency is king. String together 30 days of small victories, and suddenly you're a person who doesn't flinch when stress knocks on the door. You simply open it, acknowledge it, and move forward. This process will reveal areas in your life where you've been slacking. Maybe you haven't been taking care of your health. Maybe you've let negative people drain your energy. Over these 30 days, everything that drains you must be reevaluated. Each choice you make either decreases stress or magnifies it. Be ruthless. Let go of what doesn't serve your higher purpose. Let that clarity be your guide. Each evening, reflect on the day's challenges. Did you hold your ground, or did you let stress take you down a notch? There's no judgment here, only information. If you faltered, identify why. Did you skip your anchor routine? Did you dwell on a problem too long, allowing it to spiral in your mind? Pinpoint it, learn from it, and prepare for battle the next day. That's how you evolve, through awareness and adjustment. Some people need constant novelty. They get bored with discipline because it feels repetitive. But that repetition is the very hammer that shapes your identity. Day after day, hour after hour, you're telling your mind and body, this is who I am now, unshakable, steady, calm in the face of adversity. Stress thrives on inconsistency, so you rob it of its power by showing up in the same commanding way every single day. Notice how the world tries to fix stress with quick cures, a scented candle, a cup of tea, some trendy new gadget. Those might offer momentary comfort, but they don't strengthen your mind. Comfort doesn't crush stress. Courage does. You won't find that courage in a retail store. You'll find it when you face challenges without backing down, when you hold on to your calm even when everything else is screaming at you to panic. Over these 30 days, you will be forging something far more valuable than a temporary fix. You'll be crafting a foundation that lets you step into any environment, any conversation, any project, and remain in control of your inner state. That's true freedom, no longer being a slave to external chaos. Imagine what becomes possible when stress no longer calls the shots in your life. Let that vision pull you forward. People ask, how can I break the habit of stress? The same way you break any habit, by replacing it with a new one. Stress is a habit of allowing tension to build without release, of letting your thoughts spiral unrestrained. Your new habit is deliberate calm, deliberate release, deliberate reframing. That's the routine you will drill into your being for these 30 days. No compromise, no shortcuts. Even if you stumble on day 2 or day 10, do not quit. Failure only cements itself if you choose not to get back up. Stress wants you to stay down, to believe you've lost, but you haven't lost. You're just in the middle of the fight. And a fight isn't decided by a single blow. It's decided by who keeps going. You are the one who keeps going. Picture yourself at day 30. Imagine looking back at your old self, the one who felt strangled by stress. What would that new, stronger you say to them? Probably something like, look how far we've come. Look at the strength we've cultivated. No wave can drown us now. Let that future self guide your present decisions. The image of who you become in 30 days can be a lighthouse guiding you through the storm. Yes, you will face moments where you want to collapse, to let the pressure overwhelm you. In those moments, remember this: your best growth happens when you push through discomfort. Stress is that discomfort. By challenging it, by standing tall and practicing calm despite the tension, you're fortifying mental muscles that will serve you for a lifetime. This is your defining moment, not your downfall. People around you might not understand. They might question why you're so focused on mental discipline, why you won't join them in complaining, why you refuse to engage in pointless drama. Let them question. Let them doubt. In 30 days, the results will speak louder than any doubt. They'll see you handling crises with composure, making clear decisions under pressure, living a life that no longer bows to stress. Understand, too, that stress is cunning. It will try new tactics. If worrying about finances doesn't get you, maybe it will try to plant seeds of doubt in your relationships. If that doesn't work, it might trigger old fears about your health. The remedy is always the same. Stand firm, shift your perspective, and take control of the narrative in your mind. You command your mind, or your mind commands you. There is no middle ground. Some will say you're forcing yourself to be calm, that it's unnatural. But that's the nature of discipline. It's a deliberate act that feels forced until it becomes second nature. When you learned to tie your shoes, it felt unnatural at first. Now you do it without thinking. The same principle applies to stress mastery. You act calm until calm becomes who you are, not just what you do. Each new challenge is like lifting a heavier weight. At first it feels impossible, but with practice it becomes manageable. Eventually, what once felt crushing is something you handle with ease. That's the gift stress gives you. A heavier weight to lift so you can grow. Accept that gift with determination, not dread. Over these 30 days, you will become the champion lifter of these mental weights. Reflect on your environment. Are there people or situations that consistently trigger stress in you? Maybe it's a toxic friend, a chaotic workspace, or an endless social media feed. Part of your 30-day commitment is enforcing boundaries. Eliminate unnecessary triggers. If you can't avoid them entirely, limit your exposure. You aren't weak for avoiding triggers. You're smart for preserving your mental fortitude so you can handle the stress that truly matters. Life isn't going to slow down. If you wait for life to be less chaotic, you'll wait forever. That's why you must master calm in the eye of the storm. Picture a tornado swirling around you, debris flying in every direction. Yet there you stand unharmed because you've decided the chaos does not enter you. That's the essence of these 30 days, cultivating an unbreakable center regardless of the storm outside. Remember to breathe. It sounds trivial, but stress often hijacks your breath. Shallow, rapid breathing tells your body it's in danger. Over these 30 days, make deep, controlled breathing your ally. Let each breath remind you, I am in control, I am safe, I am capable. Most people ignore this simple tool, yet it's the quickest way to reset your nervous system. Use it like a master swordsman wields a blade. Discipline isn't supposed to be comfortable. It's the path that demands more of you than you think you can give. But by giving that extra ounce of effort, that extra moment of calm, you'll discover a reservoir of power you never knew existed. Stress tries to block that discovery by convincing you you're too tired, too busy, too incapable. Don't listen. Push past that point and watch your true strength emerge. So how do you handle the skeptics who say stress is part of being human, that it can't be destroyed? You don't argue with them, you show them. By living in a way that proves stress is not your captor, but your stepping stone. Let your results speak. Let your consistent calm be your rebuttal. The world can talk all it wants. You're too busy becoming untouchable to worry about their opinions. Keep track of your wins. When you navigate a situation that once paralyzed you with anxiety, note it down. Celebrate it, not with a big party, but with a silent acknowledgement. This was once hard, now it's easy. I'm growing. Each time you do this, you reinforce a new neural pathway, telling your brain that stress doesn't own you. Over time, those pathways become highways of resilience. As you advance, you'll encounter bigger challenges. It's the universe testing your new foundation. Embrace it. Say, bring it on, because you need these stress tests to prove your mettle. Each test is a rung on the ladder you're climbing to reach a level where stress ceases to be an enemy. It becomes a mere signal that you're pushing your boundaries, stepping into growth, and forging an unshakable mind. Pay attention to how you speak about stress. Eliminate phrases like, I'm so stressed, or this is stressing me out. Language matters. Instead, say, I'm feeling pressure and I'm using it to strengthen my resolve. When you verbally affirm your power, your mind believes it. When you affirm weakness, your mind also believes it. Choose your words carefully, because they sculpt your inner landscape. You are the gatekeeper of your mental focus. Stress creeps in when your focus drifts to fear or worst-case scenarios. Over the next 30 days, practice catching yourself when your mind spirals. Ask, is this line of thought helping me or harming me? If it's harming you, pivot. Lock onto a solution-oriented mindset. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means refusing to dwell in despair. Your mental energy is precious. Guard it fiercely. People who master stress don't have fewer problems. They have a higher threshold for handling them. That threshold grows each time you challenge it. It's like forging steel. Extreme heat and pressure make it stronger, not weaker. Don't resent the heat of stress. Use it to become something unbreakable. By the end of these 30 days, you'll see that stress was never your enemy. It was your refining fire. Of course, you still need moments of rest and recovery. Mastery of stress isn't about constant tension. It's about deliberate control. Seek moments of quiet. Take walks alone. Watch the sunrise. Or simply allow your mind to wander without pressure. These are your intervals of rejuvenation, where your mental fortress is fortified from within. Just make sure this rest is purposeful, not escapist. Sometimes you'll face unexpected blows, a sudden loss, a job upheaval, a betrayal. Stress will capitalize on these events to break you. In those moments, return to your training. Breathe, ground yourself, and remember that no external event can conquer your internal state unless you give it permission. This isn't just a philosophy. It's a way of life, and you are now living it for 30 days straight. You might look around and see people who seem unbothered by stress, living in some carefree bubble. Don't compare yourself to them. Their journey is not yours, and often that carefree exterior is a facade. Focus on your own path. This next month is about self-transformation, not external validation. You're not here to impress anyone. You're here to become the version of yourself that stress cannot control. Let's talk about nighttime. Stress loves to haunt you when the world gets quiet, weaving scenarios of doom in your mind. That's when you remind yourself that fear is a projection, not reality. Train your mind to wind down with authority. A short reflection of the day, a gratitude practice for your wins and lessons, and a firm statement that tomorrow you rise again, stronger and steadier than before. If you persist in these practices, something remarkable will happen. You'll wake up one morning and realize you haven't felt that familiar pressure in your chest for days. You'll handle a tense conversation without your heart rate skyrocketing. In other words, you'll have fundamentally changed your baseline response to stress. That's not luck. That's the power of disciplined consistency. Don't be surprised if people around you start noticing a difference. They might ask, "What's changed? How are you so calm?" That's your confirmation. You're living proof that stress can be tamed. Share if you want, or keep it private. The transformation speaks for itself. You did the work, you faced your demons, and now you carry a presence that commands respect from those who once saw you struggle. Be prepared for life to throw you a curveball right when you think you've got everything under control. That's how mastery is tested. In those moments, anchor yourself. Take a full deep breath, let your body relax, and recall every step you've taken so far. You're no longer the person who crumbles. You're the person who stands firm, who uses each test to prove their mettle, to rise above the chaos. You'll discover that life's greatest treasures often hide behind that wall of stress you were afraid to face. Could be a new career opportunity, a deeper relationship, or an untapped level of creativity. When you break stress's hold, you liberate yourself to explore areas of life you once avoided for fear of pressure. These 30 days are about more than just destroying stress. They're about discovering your limitless potential. Yes, it can feel lonely when you decide to step off the path that most people tread. Stress thrives in mediocrity, in the group complaint sessions, in the collective moaning about how hard life is. But you're not part of that chorus anymore. You're forging a new path, one of resolve, clarity, and relentless forward momentum. Loneliness is a small price to pay for the freedom that awaits you. Your mind might wander back to old habits. The next time you feel that pull to worry excessively or to blow up over a minor inconvenience, catch yourself. That's part of the old programming. You've outgrown it. Remind yourself, this is not who I am anymore. And then demonstrate who you are now by responding with grace, by channeling your energy into something constructive. Remember the importance of your environment. Spend time with people who support your growth, who challenge you to stay disciplined. If that means cutting back on certain relationships or social media platforms, so be it. This is your life, your mental fortress. Don't let anyone or anything undermine what you're building. This month is a sacred period of transformation. Guard it with conviction. Self-care is not the same as self-indulgence. True self-care might mean saying no to a late-night binge watch so you can wake up early and center yourself. It might mean doing the hard thing now so you don't suffer later. That is the essence of destroying stress. You take control of your future by making strong decisions in the present. Each choice is a brick in the fortress of your new reality. Keep your momentum going, day by day, week by week. The path may feel repetitive, but that repetition is your greatest ally. Each time you practice calm, you groove a deeper channel in your subconscious. Each time you confront stress head-on, you teach your nervous system that stress is not a monster to be feared, but a signal to activate your higher self. Resist the temptation to treat this like a passing challenge. It's not a fad or a mere experiment. These 30 days are the catalyst for a permanent shift. If you can master stress for a month, you can master it for a lifetime, because you'll have the proof that you are not chained to old responses. You are the architect of your mind, shaping your responses to serve your ultimate goals. Some people might try to discourage you, subtly or blatantly. They might say, "You're pushing yourself too hard," or "Relax, everyone gets stressed." That's their reality, not yours. Smile, thank them for their concern, and continue on your path. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing to destroy the limitations that hold you back. Your conviction is enough. Keep it burning. Expect moments of frustration. Embrace them. Every meltdown you successfully navigate is another layer of mental armor. It's another demonstration that you can handle more than you thought possible. Keep a journal, even if it's just a few lines a day. Write down your challenges and how you conquered them. Reading back on those entries will remind you how far you've come and what you're truly capable of. Let me remind you, stress is not just an emotion, it's energy that can be redirected. Turn that energy toward your goals, your dreams, your vision. Instead of letting stress paralyze you, let it propel you. Stress is a powerful force. Harness it. Aim it at something that matters to you. Over these 30 days, find a project or a pursuit that excites you and pour every ounce of anxious energy into making progress. When the going gets tough, it's easy to slip into negative self-talk. Don't. Your words to yourself hold tremendous power. Instead of cursing your stress, thank it for the chance to become stronger. Instead of belittling yourself, speak to yourself as a champion. Say, "I've got this. I've been trained for this moment. I am ready." That shift in language can be the difference between collapsing and conquering. Notice how quickly you can reset your mood with a simple physical action. If you feel tension building, stand up, move around, stretch, or do a quick set of push-ups. This breaks the stress loop in your body. It reminds your nervous system that you're in control. Over these 30 days, use every tool at your disposal. Mental, physical, emotional. Make it a holistic transformation. This is your lifetime skill set. This discipline with stress isn't just for the next month. It's for every day that follows. Imagine facing the demands of work, relationships, and personal goals, all without that familiar knot of tension in your chest. You become a problem solver, a beacon of steadiness in a trembling world. That's worth every ounce of effort you invest right now. People often lament that they have no time for these practices, but you don't have time not to. How many hours are wasted being paralyzed by stress, overthinking, or dealing with the fallout of poor decisions made under pressure? When you reclaim your calm, you reclaim your time. Efficiency and clarity rise, freeing up space for what truly matters. Stop seeking perfection. It's not about never feeling stress, it's about mastering your response. Even the most composed individuals feel that surge of adrenaline, that hint of anxiety. The difference is they don't let it spiral into panic. They experience it, process it, and move on. That's the skill you're developing. That's what these 30 days will hardwire into your system, if you let it. Stress can also be a teacher. Sometimes it arises because there's a misalignment in your life. You're doing something that doesn't fulfill you, or you're avoiding something that needs your attention. As you build your calm, listen to what stress might be telling you. Use the clarity of a disciplined mind to make the changes you need to make. Don't run from stress. Learn from it. You will discover that stress is, in many ways, an invitation to level up. It's the friction that sharpens you, the crucible that purifies your determination. When you stop seeing it as the enemy, you realize it's the impetus for your greatest leaps in self-development. You go from dreading it to appreciating it, because without it, there's no call to grow beyond your current limits. Reflect on how much energy you've wasted in your life by letting stress consume you. Hours of worry, lost sleep, broken focus. Now imagine redirecting all that energy into purposeful action. Over these 30 days, that's exactly what happens. Every time stress tries to drag you into fear, you will pivot and use it to fuel your willpower. Bit by bit, that willpower becomes unstoppable. Don't be afraid to let parts of your old self die. The version of you who caved under stress has served its time. Thank that version for getting you here, for surviving. But now you're stepping into a new chapter, one where stress no longer dictates your choices. This transformation might feel uncomfortable at first, but that's how you know it's real. Change never comes wrapped in comfort. You're building something that most people never will, a mind that doesn't yield. As you stack day upon day of disciplined calm, you'll sense an internal shift. You'll walk differently. You'll speak with more authority. You'll have a quiet confidence that resonates beyond words. People will feel it. More importantly, you'll feel it. That's the real reward. The internal knowing that you are capable of facing anything. Expect triggers to ramp up. Life might throw more problems your way. Take it as confirmation that you're on the right path. Stress wants to fight back, to remind you who it thinks is boss. But it's too late. You've already started the metamorphosis. You've tasted the power of discipline over chaos. Keep going. Don't let a surge of adversity break your stride. This is your training ground, and you are committed. Even a single moment of doubt can open the floodgates to stress. Guard your mind. If doubt creeps in, counter it immediately with evidence of your progress. Recall a recent scenario where you remained calm under pressure. Let that memory serve as a shield. Tell yourself, I've done this before and I'll do it again. That's how you keep the momentum alive. Your body language matters too. When stress tries to tighten your muscles, roll your shoulders back, lift your chin, breathe. Command your physiology to reflect the calm you're cultivating. There's a powerful link between how you carry yourself physically and how you feel mentally. Adopt a posture of confidence and resilience, and your mind will follow suit. Never let stress have the satisfaction of seeing you slump. You're nearing a turning point. It might feel like your emotions are raw, like every layer of defense has been peeled away. Good. That rawness is where real transformation happens. You're forging a new baseline. The old armor of stress is being replaced by the steel of discipline. That process can feel vulnerable, but it's far stronger than any avoidance strategy you've used before. Look in the mirror and acknowledge how far you've come. Maybe you're not exactly where you want to be yet, but you're on the road. You've endured mental battles, confronted fears, and refused to let stress dictate your day. That's worth recognizing. Give yourself credit, but don't settle. There's more ground to cover, more layers of stress to conquer. You're in this for the long game. The final stretch of this 30-day commitment is crucial. You might feel tempted to slack off, thinking you've done enough. Resist that urge. Now is the time to double down, to cement your gains, and leave no room for regression. Stress is a sly adversary. It waits for complacency. Show it that you have none to offer. You're pressing forward until the new you is permanent. Keep your vision crystal clear. See yourself beyond day 30. See yourself handling situations that once made you tremble, now with poise and control. Let that vision fuel you. You're rewriting the story of your life, one paragraph, one breath, one day at a time. Don't rush this process. Immerse yourself in it, because it's not an ending. It's a continuous evolution of who you are becoming. There's no need to broadcast your journey to the world. Your transformation is internal, and the external results will speak volumes in due time. Stress is cunning, but you're more cunning. Stress is strong, but you're stronger. You've built the discipline to stand firm in the face of chaos. That discipline is yours now. It belongs to you. It is a part of your identity, not just a phase. When you're done with this phase, you won't need to ask if you've changed. You'll feel it in the way your heart beats calmly in stressful moments. You'll sense it in your unwavering gaze, your steady hands. You'll know it when you wake up and stress doesn't greet you with suffocating dread. Instead, there's a quiet power that greets you, the power you've earned through relentless practice. Now, here's the final push. Stress ends here, but your story does not. You stand on the threshold of a new life, a new identity, one in which pressure is your servant, not your master. From this moment on, you choose calm when chaos threatens. You choose discipline when weakness beckons. You choose to be the kind of person who greets stress with a knowing smile, because you already know how this ends, with you standing taller, living freer, and moving forward like a force of nature. And if that's who you're ready to become, subscribe now, because this isn't a conclusion. It's the birth of your unstoppable self.